Iran versus America battle roars as Mojtaba doubles down on revenge, refusing to let Washington dictate the next move in the conflict. Iran's latest surprise offensive catches American troops off guard, leaving the Pentagon scrambling as Trump fumes over the sudden escalation. Iranian missiles set Jordan ablaze even as Trump hosts Netanyahu in Washington, opening another dangerous front in the widening Gulf conflict. We'll beat the out of them. Trump erupts in fury after the deadly Jordan attack sends shockwaves through Washington. Amid a high-stakes confrontation, U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed a crushing response to Iran's latest strikes targeting Jordan. Speaking to Fox News on July 29, Trump declared that Iran would get a beating for allegedly attacking a U.S. military base inside Jordan. The U.S. president went even further, warning that Washington would beat the shit out of Iran if such attacks continued. Trump also revealed American troops had only a few critical minutes to intercept the surprise assault before it reached its targets. Despite the fresh escalation, Trump insisted diplomatic talks with Iran would continue even as military tensions spiraled across the region. The remarks came after Iranian forces launched fresh strikes on U.S. bases on July 28, while Trump was meeting Benjamin Netanyahu. The IRGC later released dramatic footage claiming to show ballistic missiles being fired toward a U.S. airbase in Jordan. The IRGC says it launched ballistic missiles at a U.S. airbase and a Centcom facility in Jordan on July 28. Iran described the strike as retaliation for what it called continuing American aggression against the Islamic Republic. The IRGC Aerospace Force claimed responsibility for carrying out the ballistic missile operation. IRGC's statement read, and I quote, "The U.S. Army Central Air Base and Command Center in Jordan was targeted by ballistic missiles. The grand and epic-making people of Islamic Iran, your continued conscious presence in the arena has filled the world with wonder and admiration, and your benevolent prayers have guaranteed the victorious operations of the fighters of Islam." In response to the aggressive actions of the child-killing U.S. Army, a short while ago, the brave fighters of the IRGC Aerospace Force targeted the U.S. Army Central Air Base and Command Center in Jordan with several ballistic missiles. As long as the threats against the Islamic Republic of Iran continue and the illegal and wicked actions of the American forces against our interests, ongoing the resistance will also continue. The threats of American officials and illegal interventions against our interests must stop. And victory is not but from Allah, the exalted in might, the wise. Unquote. The IRGC Navy says it intercepted and stopped 3 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz after they ignored repeated Iranian warnings. IRGC's statement read, and I quote, 3 violating oil tankers were targeted and stopped. To the faithful and history-making people of Islamic Iran, well done to you who, by being in the field for 150 days and nights, gave a new meaning to resistance and displayed a new standard of a nation's awareness and will. Your zealous sons in the IRGC Navy, while continuing to exercise complete management and control over the Strait of Hormuz, continue to safeguard this trust of the faithful and awake nation of Islamic Iran. Hours ago, 3 violating oil tankers that continued to move along an insecure and illegal path, ignoring our warnings, were targeted and stopped. The IRGC Navy warns once again that the illegal interventions and commands of the child-killing U.S. Army against vessels in the region will not remain unanswered. And victory is not but from Allah, the exalted in might, the wise. Unquote. The U.S. president also spoke about the joint military strikes carried out alongside Saudi Arabia against targets inside Iraq. Trump claimed the July 28 operation specifically targeted Iran-backed Iraqi militias accused of threatening American forces and regional security. The U.S. leader branded the Iran-backed militias as the cancer of the world during his interview with Fox News. Trump further revealed that the Iraqi government had been informed in advance about the planned U.S. Saudi joint military operation. A fresh conflict now appears to be looming in the Middle East, this time involving Iran-backed Iraqi militias and Saudi Arabia. On July 29, Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi abruptly called off his planned meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Ali al-Zaidi was originally scheduled to hold high-level talks with Saudi Arabia's Mohammed bin Salman in Jeddah on July 29. The Iraqi Prime Minister also ordered an emergency meeting of the National Security Council shortly after snubbing MBS. The diplomatic fallout came after the United States and Saudi Arabia jointly carried out overnight strikes against Iran-backed Iraqi militias on July 28. The coordinated U.S. Saudi operation specifically targeted members of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces during the overnight assault. Several PMF fighters were reportedly killed as the strikes hit multiple militia bases across different parts of Iraq. U.S. and Saudi fighter jets bombed several logistics hubs and weapons storage facilities across eastern Iraq during the coordinated operation. On July 28, U.S. Centcom officially confirmed that the precision strikes inside Iraq were conducted alongside Saudi Arabian forces. Centcom stated that the attacks specifically targeted Iran-aligned terrorists operating from bases inside Iraqi territory. The United States further claimed the strikes were launched in direct response to Iran's recently foiled drone attacks. Centcom said, and I quote, U.S. Central Command and the Saudi Arabian Armed Forces conducted precision strikes in Iraq, July 28, against Iran-aligned terrorists that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC directed to attack U.S. forces and Saudi energy infrastructure. U.S. and Saudi fighter aircraft struck multiple terrorist logistics and weapons sites across eastern Iraq in a strong response to over 30 IRGC-directed aerial drone attacks in the last 72 hours. The unwarranted attacks against U.S. forces were not successful. From February through April 2026, there were more than 600 attempted attacks on U.S. citizens and facilities by Iran-aligned terrorist militias in Iraq. The IRGC and its terrorist proxies must cease these attacks to avoid further U.S. military response. End quote. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry strongly condemned the joint U.S. and Saudi military strikes carried out inside Iraq. Tehran described the coordinated attacks as a direct assault on Iraq's sovereignty and accused Washington of widening the regional conflict. Iran also alleged that American and Saudi forces struck religious sites used by Armenian pilgrims during the military operation. The latest strikes came shortly after Riyadh blamed Iraqi armed groups for recent attacks targeting the kingdom's strategic oil facilities. On July 27, Houthi rebels launched a fresh barrage of drones, escalating their aerial campaign against key targets inside Saudi Arabia. Riyadh claimed its air defense system successfully intercepted and destroyed the incoming Houthi drones before they could inflict any damage. Saudi Arabia further alleged the Houthi drones were aimed at the kingdom's critical oil infrastructure as well as the capital, Riyadh. Riyadh lashed out, accusing Iranian-backed terrorist militias operating from Iraq of joining the conflict alongside the Houthis. The statement by Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Defense said, and I quote, "The official spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense, Major General Turki al-Maliki, stated that air defenses intercepted and destroyed a number of drones during the past hours that attempted to target petroleum facilities in the eastern region and Riyadh." Major General al-Maliki clarified that these terrorist attempts were launched from Iraqi territory and carried out by Iranian-backed terrorist militias, affirming the kingdom's legitimate right to defend itself and its capabilities, and its retention of the right to respond at the appropriate time and place. End quote. Meanwhile, Houthi rebels continue focusing their campaign on Saudi Arabia's prized oil infrastructure, keeping the kingdom's energy lifeline under constant threat. On July 27, the Houthis claimed they struck oil facilities connecting eastern Saudi Arabia with the strategic Red Sea port city of Yanbu. Houthi spokesperson Yahya Saree alleged the operation was carried out in retaliation for repeated Saudi drone incursions into Yemeni airspace.